trend wave is it? And Lizzie is here to bring the latest to us. Lizzie, you want to take us through right away? What's trending? What's the biggest story, by the way?
Absolutely. It's all about reforming the IELTS examinations. Now, over 40,000 people have signed a petition to stop foreign institutions from demanding an English proficiency test. The International English Language Testing System is what is demanded from Nigerians. Now, this petition, which was initiated by a youth-led open source platform for policy ideas that address the world's most pressing challenges, called Policy Shapers, was addressed to the Home Secretary of the United Kingdom, Priti Patel. According to the think tank, no country in Africa out of the 27 who list English as one of their official languages is on the Home Office list of the countries exempted from taking the test. Meanwhile, the UK Home Office has exempted Antigua and Barbuda, the Bahamas, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, Trinidad and Tobago, and 10 other countries from those who would require this test. Now, we've had loads of reactions ever since this petition, started to circulate online. We'll check out some of these tweets before I get straight to my guest. And that one is from the founder also of the Policy Shapers, the group which has started this campaign. And it says, Nigeria is not a French-speaking country, but if a Nigerian writes DELF, which is the French examination, for 16,000 naira, the result is valid for life. But despite being an English-speaking country, I have to write IELTS for 89,500 naira, and my result expires in 2 years. Do the math. That one is from Ebenezar himself, and then that is the post right there, which does a comparison between the IELTS and the DELF and DAF examination, which says that you see IELTS has cost 89,500, while DELF and DAF cost 16,000 naira, and one result expires in 2 years, another result is valid for life. And of course, that is what they are asking for. That's what the reform policy is asking for. But I want us to take a look at some of the tweets that people have made. That one is from General Okulu. General says, IELTS is pure extortion. Nigeria with English as its lingua franca should not be mandated to write IELTS before working or schooling in the UK. It makes no sense at all. I took up a job in the UK and I didn't have communication issues even without IELTS, and he uses the hashtag reform IELTS policy. And then there are more reactions on that. That one is from Samuel. Samuel says, dear UK Home Office, Nigerians deserve this exemption. English is our official language in Nigeria, and also it's the language of instruction from kindergarten to the university level. In addition, an average Nigerian cannot afford the IELTS fee. That's Samuel speaking right there. And there have been loads and loads. Uncle Charles says, if 12,000 Nigerians sit for the IELTS in a year, that is 1.08 billion Nigeria. That's a whopping sum, if you ask me. But I have joining me this morning Ebenezar Wikina, who is the founder of Policy Shapers Nigeria. Welcome to Breakfast Central, Ebenezar.
Thank you so much for having me.
So clearly, some of those posts we've seen right there clearly think of the IELTS examination as exploitative. I would like to ask you, Wikina, why did you start this campaign in the first place?
Yes, for all of the reasons that have been shared, in all of those posts, in addition to the fact that as an individual, my great-grandfather used to be an interpreter for the colonial masters, right? And he was very instrumental in helping to translate the Bible to the Kana language. I'm from the Ogoni tribe in the United Delta region. And, I'm sure my great-grandfather was very disappointed that, at 29, I find it very difficult to speak the Kana language, because all my life I've been speaking English right from kindergarten, as Samuel said, up until university level. We use English at work, we use English to transact, we use English in church to pray and everything. And so, if I have to, suffer a lot from this, lack of understanding of my native language, why don't I have to pay a certain amount of money that costs as much as thrice the minimum wage in Nigeria? And the result for this exam expires every 2 years. And this is not just for schools. I had a face-off with the London School of Economics a couple of weeks ago because I was applying for a fellowship program. This is not even like a full-blown master's program, just a fellowship program. And they also still requested for me to submit the IELTS. So all of these reasons, including the pains that young Nigerians are having to face when they try to study, abroad, all of these had made us, want to do something about it. Yeah.
Wow, wow. So you have highlighted the disparity in the French DELF and DALF, and also, speaking about non-native speakers seeking admission in France and Anglophone countries, seeking admission in the UK and the US, among others. Can you do a rundown of some of these issues again?
Yes, please. So the economic issues, I think, is even the strongest because look at the huge disparity in costs. If one costs 16,000 naira and can last for a lifetime, and another one costs about 89,500 naira and expires in 2 years, I mean, that just shows you that there's a huge problem, right? Another thing is that our English proficiency doesn't expire. I mean, I don't know if English proficiency is like it's like a product on the shelf, but because we use English language, every day, and people even people in rural areas aspire to have good English, right? Because English is like the language of upward mobility in Nigeria. Why? How can it expire? There's no explanation. There's no logical linguistic explanation to defend that particular point. And so this is also something that we'll be speaking about. And we were really excited to see that all of the social media buzz, all of the campaigning had led to the UK Home Office replying us yesterday. So we had written to the Home Office officially in October 2021, saying this is what we think. We're a youth group of XYZ number of campaigners, and we do believe that Nigeria should be included as well as other Anglophone African countries in the majority English-speaking countries list, which is what the Home Office has. And if your country is on that particular list, citizens of that country no longer need to write the IELTS or TOEFL whenever they apply, for work or school and the likes. And yesterday they had ignored us for 3 months, right? We've been following up on social media and everything. But following the buzz yesterday, they were forced to reply, and they did reply, and their reply left a lot of questions as well, because they kept saying things like, they don't have any particular source. They use public sources to ascertain if a country can be on that particular list. They don't think they work with the FCDO in respective countries to advise them and all of that. And so that opens up a lot of questions for us and engagement. We had also gotten the commitment of the Vice President sometime as well last year to work on this, and we believe that this response by the Home Office gives us a chance to follow up with the Vice President and the FCDU here in Nigeria to resolve these issues, because English has been and has continued to be a language of instruction in our education institutions right from nursery, kindergarten, up onto university, and so there's no reason why Nigerians need to still go through this hurdle of proving their proficiency over and over again.
Right. Thank you, Wikina. So clearly the Home Office has responded to you, and also you have the Vice President, Yemi Osibajo, on your side. So you think we would be getting a positive response at the end of the day from this campaign?
Yes, I do. We're also going to be engaging with the respective ministries of education, foreign affairs, youth and sports, just to ensure that we have everybody's hand on deck, following up with this response and seeing that Nigeria is included, in the majority English-speaking countries list. Yeah.
Over 44,000 people have signed. So what are we looking at the end of the day? How many people are we expecting to sign this?
Yes, I mean, and it's really interesting because we started the petition 2 weeks ago, although the campaign had been on for a very long time. Our goal before was to say, let's see if we can get 20,000, and we got that in a couple of days. And so now we're moving the bar up to say we want to get 150,000 and see if we'll be able to stretch ourselves and see how many more young people are interested in this. It's one thing for me to come on TV and say, this is the problem. But when you have 44,000 other people saying the same thing, then you know that this is a problem. So that's the reason why we're pushing this petition and trying to get as many signatures as possible. Yeah.
We do hope that this campaign gets the right attention and that our considerations are met. Thank you so much, Wikina, for being on Breakfast Central this morning.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Great. Back to you, Joe and Oluchi. That's what is trending at the moment.
Very interesting one, Lizzie. And I could say that it's worthy. It's worthy of note. More importantly, that hashtag must indeed answer that question for the fact that they've replied
I've been
it?
calculating in my head. I mean, one of the organizations who carries out this examination said as high as 3 million Nigerians write this exam with one organization in a year. That's over 200 billion naira that is being generated from an examination alone. And this was in 2017 when it was less than 89,500. I rest my case.
Thank you so much, Lizzie. It's quite deep that countries like Barbados,
Antigua,
St. Kitts are not writing these exams. And we were colonized by the British, and we're still writing the exam.
Right.
Great job. Thanks for scouting this story out, and thanks for helping us understand why it's trending.